Well, if you have been paying attention to the news in the United States, particularly California, you will probably have been following the unfolding since the first weekend of June 2025. That it's just really a particular section of LA has gotten really intense. So I have not had a chance to catch up, but I wanted to talk about Soccer Aid, which is coming. And I think there have been, if you go to TikTok, a couple of people that have posted photos of Louis doing warm ups, wearing his 28, I think, and just kind of getting ready for Soccer Aid. Now, we in the United States are not going to be able to watch it. And it's apparently it's going to be in outside of Manchester, and there is an official website. So there's the socceraid.org.uk. So I believe if you have a VPN, you could probably watch it, but it's not going to be easily watchable if you are from the United States. So which kind of really sucks because we want to support Louis. And I kind of was off TikTok for a couple of years. I went back on it because I figured there would be coverage of Soccer Aid, and I like that TikTok has less commercials than YouTube. But I wanted to talk about how horribly disappointed I am right now that it looks like for at least the next 60 days, I'm not in Los Angeles, but the people of Los Angeles, and there's a chance that what's happening in Los Angeles could happen in other parts of California. This morning, I heard that they're sending ICE tactical units to Chicago. Like it's just getting crazy, guys. But that said, I wanted to talk about how we really do need to almost tune out of the negative and tune into the positive. So, a couple Larry things I wanted to share. I promise I'll have more themed Larry content coming up soon. I just understandably, have gotten a little distracted. So, the resurging debate on whether Louis and Harry are together, and fans saying, you guys are being so disrespectful, that these are the antis and the people who don't believe that there was ever kind of some relationship. But you know what? They're entitled to their opinion. They can go create anti Larry content on their own channel. I think it's really quite funny that there are people who make it their mission to go and scope out like pro Larry content and just be assholes. And it's like, dude, do you have like anything else better to do? Clearly not, because you're not going to change my mind. And I'm not even asserting I'm telling the truth. All I'm saying is that, you know, I don't, people tend not to look at each other this way, this consistently. And why is it when Louis's mom's wedding was going on that she specifically pulled out Harry to introduce to the rest of the family if Louis and Harry are mortal enemies? Anyway, but I wanted to talk about how Louis Tomlinson is this incredible archetype of the holistic masculine. That's a new term I've come up with, everybody. And given that LA, thank God I'm not in LA, is sort of dominated with uh, clearly this epic fucking display of toxic masculinity on both sides of people that, and I think people may not be aware that there is a distinction between people that are protesting peacefully versus people that are opportunists that are escalating the situation after the peaceful protesters go home because they want to have an excuse to be violent and to loot. That's the problem. Those people are the problem because this happens on both sides of the political spectrum. But I think now more than ever, we need somebody that's the holistic masculine that plays soccer, which is really football. But the Americans, they inverted it, and what we call football in the United States is not what they call football, because what they call football in the rest of the world is what we call soccer. And we need someone like a Louis Tomlinson who plays soccer, who gets all into it and is just like you know, typical athletic guy, but also Mr. Sassy, Mr. Eloquent, Mr. Songwriter, Mr. Artiste. We need somebody that has the yin and the yang inside of his psyche balanced. You know why? Because we are inundated with these toxic masculine iconographies. We don't, you know, we, this is also why we need Harry. We need Harry because Harry, he also epitomizes both. I think this is what the appeal of both these two are, is that you know, you almost forget that they're two men. And that's why people believe it so easily believe they're together, even if they didn't grow up in a metropolitan area that had a very active, prominent pink community, is because they're in touch with both sides. And I think they've had the home court advantage. I mean, I'm really super biased with British boyfriends. I mean, I would say that the best ones in my life have been from across the pond. They're just smarter. The one person, oh my god, I can't believe I'm admitting this one. The one person that was really quite smart, and well, I'm not going to go into that one, but the one American one that was really quite bright was really in touch with his European roots too. So it wasn't a good comparison. But um, I would say that there is I think it's either the British education system, because if you ever see Charlie Kirk debate Cambridge University students in the UK, he gets decimated. um, but we could easily picture, and it seems so natural to see Louis and Harry together, regardless of what the antis say, because they are both really in touch with their yin and their yang. And unfortunately, we are seeing depictions of the masculine because of all the units that they had to deploy to LA to deal with what they think is what they say is a problem. Um, they sent, and I posted this on this channel. They sent the 27, which apparently were are pretty intense. If I don't know much about the history, all I know is that from influencers and just from the quick Google search, that the 27, which is the Second Battalion, Seventh Marines, out of 29 Palms in near Joshua Tree, out in like the desert of California, is that they were kicked out of Vietnam and Fallujah for war crimes. Like that's how bad. Um, and I mean bad in like, I'm borrowing the words of other veterans saying how badass they are. Not that I agree with anything violent myself, but oh, I mean, if anything, they're going to be there 60 days. That's what the federal government has said. And that just completely messes up concerts for the summer, because I'm not going to be able to see Harry and Louis for a while, at least not until the next, um, for the rest of this. The rest of this administration, I don't think we're going to see Harry and Louis play in the United States, not with all these travel advisories. So, um, but it means that we're going to have to leverage TikTok and all the other ways that we can support their work independently. Since until the day they do a duet together, which will break the internet, we're going to have to support them separately. But um, we really, I mean, it's times like this that I think we really do need them. We really need them. We need Nyler. We need Zayn. I was in a conversation with somebody else on the comment section about, I worry about, should we worry about Zayn, who lives in Pennsylvania, being told to go back to the UK and being away from his daughter? And someone said, yeah, we really should, because, well, for all reasons that are obvious at this point. Um, but if you look at some of the videos I posted of Harry and how he's never objectified women, there was a footage of him at Saturday Night Live and the way they were carrying this female host and how he like used they did a close up on his hands and how he was not grasping on her, and I think that is that is a testament to Harry specifically. Why girls loved him so much was because they inherently felt he was the safe masculine. We needed that counterpoint. We needed that balancer in One Direction. I think it's sad when I hear people not knowing who One Direction is. I mean, they only broke up a decade ago. I mean, everyone knows who the Eagles are. I mean, Niall likes the Eagles, and they broke up long before he was born. Um, People know who the Stones are. Like, there's all these bands that people who are like, they were like broken up for 20 years by the time they were born. They know who they are. It kind of like freaks me out that people don't know who One Direction is. How can you not know who One Direction is? Like, how can you not know the Beatles, right? They were such a global phenomenon. But I think in the 2010s when the band was active, we really needed them. They unfortunately went away and went on the permanent hiatus a year before you saw the emergence of like the Proud Boys and like these these sort of movements where they had a really aggressive masculine, which I think these things are kind of like a pendulum swaying back and forth. But with girls coming of age, can see why One Direction was so pivotal. At the same time, I think that the emergence of Larry as this organic phenomenon that people were picking up on and have held on to for the last like 15, 16 years since 2010 is a testament to how people who have eyes can see. Kind of like that tweet from Harry Styles of like, eventually even a blind man can see what's going on. But we really do need to have more Larry. I think if you are a fan, I would encourage everybody to keep this discussion going on TikTok or YouTube, because what is so obvious is that there's not a lot of very healthy masculine depictions right now. And this, if I'm all over the place right now, it's because I'm very tired. But if you think of what's going to happen in LA, they're going to be there 60 days. Legally, there's been like a stay in the judgment to return the National Guard under Gavin's control, which is the governor of California, but Trump's going to not probably Trump doesn't want to. Um, at this point, I think that with so much depiction and so much like hollering for this, in my opinion, a uh, toxic masculine imagery, it's more and more important to give as much media attention to the positive masculine, to the healthy masculine, to the safe masculine. And as we know, both Harry and Louis grew up in a very female dominated household. And to their credit, they're